It is the round 2 of the InterBITS 2025 Blitz event in BITS Hyderabad, and here on board 5 we see Anirudh SV with the white pieces taking on Brigu Srivastava with the black pieces. So the time format is 3 plus 2, that is 3 minutes plus 2 seconds increment on every single move. So here we see handshakes, the clock is started, and we see 1d4, knight f6, c4 and e6 on the board. Knight comes to f3 and we see b6, knight c3 and bishop b7. So this bishop b7 combination in this opening is very rarely played, and hence Anirudh develops his knight to g7 to g5, bishop e7, and we see the move e3 so as to free up the light squared bishop here. h6, bishop comes back, and now it is black to play. Black thinks a bit and plays the move d6. So here the only piece that white has to develop is the bishop, so white plays the move bishop d3 and knight d7 on the board. Castles, and now black is taking its time. So here the general move would be castle that was played, and rook e1 played instantly. Here we can see the players are playing blitzing out their moves so that in the middle game they can take their time. We see c5, a very commental move played on the board, and I guess white will take some time to think what to do. Should we take, should we push, or just ignore the c5 move? Here Anirudh is thinking, and I can see Anirudh's hand reaching to the queen. Where can the queen go is the question. And we see queen e2 on the board. Instantly rook c8 was played. And now what will white do? White develops his other rook to d1 and rook c7. This is not a very accurate move because rook c7 is followed by knight to b5, which was played in the game, and the rook has to retreat back, and now you can see that the a7 pawn is hanging, and it's on Anirudh now to take that pawn or not. If you take that pawn, the point is the rook will come to a8 and snatch the a2 pawn. Okay, but white plays the move bishop to g3. But you could have allowed the rook to come here and simply play the move bishop b1, and white would have been better. But we see after bishop g3, it is black to move, and now black can simply play some move like knight h5 or d5 and shift the attention to the center of the board. But black goes knight e8 because bishop g3 was attacking the weak e6 pawn with the knight and the bishop. So black has defended it with knight e8, but it is a very passive move, and now it is on white again. Can you take the a7 pawn or not is the question. White is down to 1 minute 45 seconds thinking on this crucial moment. And white takes it. Rook a8, knight comes back, rook takes, and rook a1 was played, which was not the best move because this rook here is not a very good rook, and you do not want to exchange it with your very nice rook. The best move would have been bishop b1 instead of rook to a1. Rook takes rook, queen takes rook, and now can you take advantage of the black queen being so inside? Can you trap it? Is all the questions that Anirudh should be asking right now. With 1 minute 20 seconds, he goes with the move knight a3. A very decent move because it traps the queen here. Only square is b3, and somehow if you control that, somehow you can play this. If not, because right now you can play this because this is a tactic to keep in mind. Okay, so queen b3 was played, and now it's on white what to do. The escape route for black queen is this right now. White is thinking and plays the move rook a1. So somehow even if black escapes, the knight can come back and trap the queen again. Now black is thinking the most natural should be bringing out the knights or pushing onto the center. Let's see what does black do in this position. The time is coming down. Black is also at 1 minute 40 seconds now, and bishop c6 was played, which is not a nice move because here simply e4 can be played with the idea of d5, and also e4, if you take here, knight takes and you are winning a piece. So e4 has to be played because it gives you a very nice advantage and position. White down 1 minute, thinking in this very crucial moment, what can we do? Okay, knight b5 was played instead. Bishop takes it instantly, and white is taking its time, but the only move should be to take the bishop back. Oh, white plays the move rook a3 instead, counter attacking the queen. The queen has very less space, only one move, I guess. So queen was back, we take the bishop, and now it is black to play again. Black has to do something about the knights. Okay, the pawn is pushed first with the idea of pushing here, unleashing the bishop and also attacking this bishop. It is white to play now, and Anirudh is thinking down his clock. The time is ticking, and it's on to the player who does the biggest mistake. One mistake and the game is over. Okay, bishop comes back, and here you can see this trap again. You can't take this pawn as bishop coming to h7 and you would win the queen. So the pawn is defended for now. Black plays the move c5 anyways. Rook goes to a7, and now the knight is attacked. Also the bishop has been x-rayed, so somehow if the queen moves, the bishop would also be free. Finally, the knight from e8 comes and pounces on f6, which also defends this knight and also takes control of the central squares. White is thinking what to play in this move, and knight goes to the central square. Knight to e5. You can see this knight is attacked twice, so what you can do is either defend it or take it right now. Black is thinking with 50 seconds. Black takes the knight and bishop takes it, and now what? It is black to play, and what can you do to get some play in the game? Here Brigu is thinking about some variations. You can either go back knight e8 and push the pawn, but rook comes to e8 and instantly we see bishop b1. Queen takes the pawn and queen to c2. Bishop b1 was not a very nice move because the b2 pawn was already protected by that tactic. So giving up this pawn was not very clever because the bishop on c2 could have gone to a4 as well. But here we see pawn push, h4 and h5, and this was a blunder because rook could have taken the bishop, but white played the move f3 instantly. Bishop comes back, knight comes back attacking the bishop. Bishop comes to g3, and now I'll have to take my pace because the game is going to go very quickly. We see queen coming here, the knight is given for free, and bishop f6. Oh my god, white, okay, white plays the move bishop to e5, and queen perpetual was missed. We see a perpetual on board. Will white or black agree for a draw? Black takes the bishop, and the queen chops off the e3 pawn. White is a piece up, but black has compensation. Black has 3 pawns, and knight and rook takes on f7 was played, sacrificing the entire rook. King takes, queen g6, king goes to e7, queen check, king comes back, and bishop g6 was played. With very few seconds left on clock, queen f4 check, king h3, and it is black to play. Rook comes to e7 and queen, okay, queen f8 was a free queen. Oh my god, white just gave up the entire queen and it is game over.
Also when you played GC, look at GC. When you played GC, look at GC.
Before that also, I was like A6 queuing, queening, and just played first A6 rook season, then just played against D5 and something. Because if I open, it's the same. Classically, you have time to think, but here if pieces get exchanged, exactly. I wanted to keep the pieces instead, but 95. Yeah. I thought because I'm getting easy now. I always have this thing.
Also,
Rook F7 was wrong. Rook F7 was wrong because, but still because your bishop